clarity, so I could see how you react to me. So much differently, I am different. Every time that I look back, I see my fortune.
What's up, everybody? So it's been a long time since I picked up this camera. A lot's happened. If you've seen any of my previous videos, I know there's not a lot of them, but you've definitely never seen this place before. You'll have to excuse a little bit of the background mess. Trust me, it will get dealt with. I'm going to be making an update video just to kind of go over what's happened. But this video specifically, we're working on Zeus. FYI, my RAM 1500. So this guy, today, we're going to be taking apart the water pump. And basically replacing the thermostat. And then tomorrow, I have plans to get my truck tuned, so that way the mechanisms and everything like that, the thermostat, all work kind of together rather than opposing each other. Reason why I'm actually getting it tuned is because I'm going to be getting my thermostat in a different temperature range. So instead of the, I believe it's 205 or 195 degrees Fahrenheit that the RAM 1500s actually come with, I'm dropping mine down to 180. There's a lot of reasons to do that. One of the reasons being basically, supposedly you're supposed to get a little bit more power out of it. The thought process behind it being that when you are trying to force air into the motor, you know that cold air is more dense. When you have colder air going into the motor, you are therefore increasing the potential power output. Now you might be asking yourself, how does the thermostat actually make the intake air colder? What that does is that allows the block to heat up to that range, and then the heat soaks through the block into the intake manifold, and that's where all the air goes into the motor. So therefore you're heating up the air as it's going into the motor, where the 180 degree thermostat that I'm going to be running is supposed to keep that slightly cooler, and then meaning that the air doesn't heat up as much right before it goes in the motor. So whether it actually makes any more power or not, I don't know. Some people will say a negative to it is that you're not allowing the oil to heat up to the proper temperature range, being above 70 degrees Celsius. If you hit 70 degrees Celsius from all the forums that I've read, that's when oil is actively at its best, or it's not overheating, but it's not so cold that it's improperly lubricating the motor. So I'm not only switching my thermostat, I'm switching my whole water pump, and I'm going to be deleting my mechanical fan. So I'm going to show you how to take it all apart roughly. Now the reason why I'm getting it tuned is specifically because I'm changing my thermostat and I'm removing my mechanical fan. If you're leaving it the way it would come stock, don't worry about it. I believe it's just the Hemis, but they come with a mechanical fan and an E-fan, electric fan. So essentially what you can do is, people say that if you take off the mechanical fan, you're taking off load off the motor, theoretically, even if it's just a small amount, which then frees up the motor and allows it to rev more freely. It allows it to speed up a little bit faster, and it's also supposed to basically get rid of a very annoying noise that you hear from when the fan actually kicks up. It's basically the loudest part of the motor. Your vehicle starts up a lot quieter. It sounds quieter. You can hear more of just the motor rather than hearing the fan. I like how this is always kind of like my go-to spot for parts. You'll see it probably, I think the last 2 videos I did with this truck is I always have parts in here. It's already kind of down my Mountain Dew, so I'm switching it up. If you guys see me around, it seems like everyone on YouTube has their own drink. Mine's definitely root beer, so feel free to bring me a root beer. I don't remember, because I've had these for so long, I don't remember what parts go to what. You don't know how long I've waited to open this box? It's kind of unfortunate, but I've kind of been like delaying this for so long because I wanted to make a video out of it and I didn't know when I would have the time, but holy crap, man. It's finally here, the day this thing goes in. Hopefully. Make sure when you order yours that you actually do get a gasket. In order to take off the clutch fan, which we're going to do first, you can see these 3 little black dots. We are going to take this guy off, drop it, and then basically get this black kind of shield out of the way so we can drop the fan by itself. Looks like 1 bolt each side, 13 mil. And you have to disconnect the connector, detach the hose, and then should be able to pull it out. So we're going to take off the fan clutch first because the shroud will not fit between the fan clutch and the radiator. So here's the trick in case you are cheap and don't want to buy the tool, or just don't have time, or couldn't, or you're like me and all of the above. All I did was just took a plumbing wrench like so, and I whacked the bottom of it right here with a hammer multiple times, and you got to get a freaking wicked swing out of it. It's loose to the point that I believe I can even spin it with my finger. Okay, that took way too long, but damn right. Look how much room is in there now.
Look at all this space. So much aerobics in here. So many activities.
When I said that it had a mechanical and an E fan, that's the mechanical fan, and this right here under the shroud is the E fan. If you would like, they do offer V6 fans that come in the, you know, Rams with the V6 that look a little bit nicer. They still work, but definitely do your research because some of them won't, and they have a nice little shroud and everything that this hooks into. Now that we got everything out of the way here, I think we're going to take off the belt. Definitely take a photo on your phone, and that'll help you put the belt back together, or just even use this image right here because you can probably see with my light how it wraps around and stuff. And that way you don't put it on wrong or have to spend hours trying to look for the right diagram as to how it goes on your vehicle. Okay, so we're going to take off the belt now. Now, in order to do this, we're going to have to loosen the tensioner. To do that, I got my big pry bar and then a 3/8 adaptation from a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to put it right in there. It'll sink in a little bit. And it seems to be good. So now we just loosen this guy up. Now that's off there, slowly release it. And we're good. Take this guy out. So now that we're actually ready to take off the water pump, what we're going to do is we're going to empty the system. Now this is the front of the truck over here. That's the E fan. You can see right here, this is the peacock. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to loosen that bolt, and that's going to allow coolant to drain. I'm going to start taking bolts out of there, and I'm going to show you my little trick that I'm going to use. Now, you're going to have to remove these little kind of clips. You're just going to need some pliers for that, and then take out all the bolts, and I'll show you my trick.
Fatality.
Well, that was about as as bad as it could get. Watch out for that bottom hose. Holy crap. I'm drenched. Basically what I'm going to start doing now is I'm going to start unbolting this, but I'm going to show you guys a trick that will actually probably save everyone's ass. So basically what I want you to do is I want you to take your new water pump and go up to the box and then trace it. Every little pinhole that I put on is a place that a bolt goes. Now what happens is, as I take bolts off, I'm going to see where they came from. I'm going to put them exactly where they came from. So right now I have every single bolt out of there. The only one that I didn't take out was this guy, which I believe was a idler pulley. Regardless, I should be able to theoretically grab it, wiggle it, and it should pop off. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, I just cleaned that. I thought it all drained out. Because this tube was draining for like half an hour. That guy holds 16 quarts and it's about half full, so I knew there was more, but oh my god. I'm gonna take this over to my workbench. So, these are the two water pumps. This is obviously the new one, and this is also the old one. Now you can see they're nearly the same looking. This is a Gates water pump, this is a Mopar. You can tell right here by the numbers. If you're wanting to get one for yourself, the same one. This is one that I got from Gates. And I'm going to use this to go over a little bit of the surface with some brake clean. And that should clean it right up. Get everything nice for the new water pump. So I just took this guy off, and as you can see, it really didn't actually take all that much effort to figure out how to put together. The underside of this is an inverted piece of this, as in there's a piece right here and this hole right here, so therefore it has to line up no matter what you do. There's no way you can put this on with it being wrong. Now, one thing I did forget was my water pump came with this. Reason being is because right next to the temperature sensor, I need to install that. So I can put this guy in right here. I'm going to take a second to torque everything down really quick while I have it on here. Essentially the idler pulley goes to 30 foot-pounds, and the thermostat housing goes to the exact same as the rest of the bolts that go around the water pump, which is 18 foot-pounds, which in inch-pounds would be 216 inch-pounds.
I've been walking through the rain, don't know where I'm going. My head's leading me astray, yeah, you follow no wind. Getting deeper in the frame, I see your face, I feel the pain, but you chose the path I follow.
So after a little bit of messing around, I have everything off of the old water pump, put onto the new water pump. I'm gonna go ahead and start to install it. Make sure that when you're doing this, that this is completely in place, especially when you're actually tightening it down. Anyways, majority of this is going to be kind of just a reverse sequence of what we've already done. Remember when you put in all of these bolts that you need to tighten it down to 18 foot-pounds or 216 inch-pounds? Try to torque it down in this kind of a pattern where essentially you're going across. It doesn't really matter where you start or which direction you go, just make sure that you're torquing across the part. Okay, so it's finally done. It is 5 in the morning and it is finally done. Now I'm leaving my shroud and my E-fan out for a while, and maybe I'll see if someone else could use them, but I'm probably gonna just toss them, and then I'll end up getting my V6 fan if I do end up upgrading. Maybe the next thing to do, I guess, is start it up and we'll see if it sounds a little bit different. Like I said, the mechanical fan makes a lot of noise when you start up the trucks, so definitely like weird because I'm so used to hearing the sound of the fan going off. Yeah, so it is way quieter in here. It emphasizes the sound of the motor because usually what happens is the fan actually drowns it out a bit and it makes it seem like less, it makes it seem more subtle. Now the exhaust is just like in your face, like you hear every single cylinder. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep coolant and a funnel inside the back of my truck. When I drive it to the tuner tomorrow, I'm gonna check it, I'm gonna fill it up if need be. I have the overflow filled up also, so that way as it's kind of filling the air gaps, it's able to actually draw in coolant while I'm even on the road, which is probably the preferred method, because by the time I get anywhere, this is going to be hot. Like even just with me starting the truck, it's already, you know, pressurized. So I think I'm going to end the video here. It definitely looks like Chucky tried to get out of that box. So anyways, that's it from me. Peace out. Oh my god. Okay, this is sketch. This is sketchy. Don't do this. Just pay a mechanic. It's not worth your life. Oh my god.
I am who I'm meant to be. I am who I'm meant to be. Over and out.
Sorry, I thought that would look kind of cool.